I'm 99 years old. I built a fortune of billions without ever posting on social media. Never had Instagram, never had Twitter, never had Facebook, never had TikTok. And that's not because I'm old and don't understand technology. It's because I understand arithmetic, I understand human psychology, and I understand that the two combined create a poverty trap disguised as entertainment. Social media is the most expensive free thing you've ever used. It costs nothing to download, $0 per month, but it costs everything to use. Because every hour you spend scrolling is an hour you're not learning to build wealth. Every post you see of someone's vacation makes you want a vacation you can't afford. Every influencer telling you to invest in yourself by buying their $2,000 course is teaching you to spend, not to save. Every advertisement is calibrated to exploit your insecurities and empty your wallet. People think social media is harmless entertainment, a way to stay connected, a tool that's neutral, neither good nor bad, just depends how you use it. That is nonsense. That is like saying heroin is neutral. Just depends on the dose. Social media is a poverty machine engineered by the smartest psychologists and computer scientists in the world, designed specifically to make you feel inadequate, so you'll spend money trying to keep up with people who are also broke but better at pretending they're rich. I've watched social media destroy more wealth in 15 years than any market crash in history. Not through dramatic losses that make headlines, through 1,000 small decisions every single day to spend instead of save, to impress instead of invest, to look rich instead of be rich. Death by 1,000 cuts, except each cut is a purchase you didn't need, financed by a future you're destroying. The average person spends 2.5 hours per day on social media. That's 912 hours per year. That's 22 full work weeks. Let me say that differently. You're working for free for 22 weeks every year, half your working time. For social media companies, while they sell your attention to advertisers and systematically train you to be a consumer instead of an investor. You're not the customer, you're the product, and the product they're selling is your ability to make rational financial decisions. I'm going to show you the 3 rules that will protect you from social media poverty. Rules that every wealthy person I know follows, whether they consciously realize it or not. Rules that sound simple, but almost nobody follows because following them means being different from everyone around you. Following them means being called boring, being called out of touch, being excluded from conversations, and most people would rather be poor and included than wealthy and different. Hit the like button if you're ready to understand why deleting social media might be the best financial decision you ever make. I only share this with people who value wealth over validation, substance over appearance, and freedom over fitting in. Before we get into this, do me a favor, drop a comment right now and tell me where you're watching from. I want to know who's here. City, state, country, just let me know. Here's why smart people scroll through social media for hours every day while their potential for wealth evaporates like water in the desert. Most people think social media is neutral, just a tool that can be used for good or bad, like a hammer or a knife. That is backward. That is dangerously wrong. Social media is not neutral. It's not a passive tool waiting for you to decide how to use it. It's specifically designed, engineered, and optimized to extract maximum attention and convert that attention into maximum spending. The algorithms don't show you random content. They show you content that makes you feel inadequate, not good enough, not successful enough, not attractive enough, not wealthy enough. Then, before you can even process that inadequacy, they show you ads for things that promise to fix it. Buy these clothes and you'll be attractive. Take this vacation and you'll be successful. Invest in this course and you'll be wealthy. Subscribe to this service and you'll be happy. Every single scroll is a micro decision to consume content instead of create value. Every post you see is training you, training your brain, your psychology, your sense of what's normal, to want things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't even know and who, frankly, don't care about you. The truth is simple, but nobody wants to hear it, because hearing it means admitting they've been manipulated. You cannot build wealth while using social media the way it's designed to be used. The two activities are fundamentally, mathematically, psychologically incompatible. Building wealth requires delayed gratification, sustained focus over years, and long-term thinking measured in decades. Social media trains instant gratification, fractured attention spans measured in seconds, and short-term thinking that can't see past tomorrow. You don't need to be smarter than me to avoid social media poverty. Intelligence has nothing to do with it. Some of the smartest people I know are broke because they're on social media. You just need to understand 3 simple rules. Rules that protect your attention from theft, your money from manipulation, and your ability to think long-term from destruction. The first rule will make you uncomfortable. It should. Let's start. Rule number 1. Stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. The first rule is simple to state, but brutal to follow. Stop looking at other people's lives, not occasionally, not in moderation, completely, because every single comparison you make on social media costs you money, not metaphorically, literally. There is a direct line from comparison to purchase to poverty. When you see someone on vacation in Bali with crystal clear water and perfect sunsets, your brain doesn't engage rational thought. It doesn't think they probably saved for 3 years for this, or they might have $15,000 in credit card debt from this trip, or this is 1 week out of 52 weeks and I'm seeing a highlight reel. No, your brain thinks, I should be on vacation too. I work hard. I deserve this. Then you open another tab and book a vacation you can't afford on a credit card you can't pay off. When you see someone with a new car, spotless, shining, perfectly photographed in front of an aesthetic background, you don't think they're probably making a terrible financial decision depreciating $10,000 in the first year? You don't think that's a $600 monthly payment for 72 months plus insurance plus maintenance. You think, I deserve a new car too. My car is old. People must think I'm unsuccessful. Then you go to a dealership and finance a car at 7% interest that will cost you $50,000 over 6 years. Social media comparison is the most expensive habit you have. It doesn't feel expensive because the cost is invisible, delayed, and distributed across 1,000 small decisions. But every single time you spend money trying to keep up with the life you see online, you're destroying your ability to build wealth. Every time, without exception. The problem with social media comparison is that you're comparing your reality, your everyday, unglamorous, normal life with all its mundane moments and struggles, to someone else's carefully curated highlight reel. You see their vacation. You don't see their credit card debt. You see their new house. You don't see their $4,000 monthly mortgage eating 50% of their income, You see their designer handbag. You don't see that they're eating ramen for dinner 3 days a week to afford it. You see their business success post. You don't see the 80-hour weeks, the failures, the stress, the luck involved. Everyone on social media looks successful, literally everyone, because people only post their wins, their highlights, their best moments. Looking successful and being wealthy are completely different things, often inversely correlated things. Looking successful requires spending money constantly on visible consumption. Clothes, cars, vacations, restaurants, experiences that photograph well. Being wealthy requires not spending money on any of that garbage and instead investing it in assets that compound quietly where nobody can see them. Here's the second problem, and this one is even more insidious. The people who look most successful on social media are usually the least wealthy. I've seen this pattern for 15 years now without exception, because the people who look most successful are spending all their money on things that look good in photos. They're optimizing for appearance, not for net worth. The truly wealthy people I know, most of them aren't on social media at all, and the ones who are never post their wealth. They don't need validation from strangers. They're not trying to prove anything. They're quietly compounding wealth while everyone else is loudly displaying consumption. Here's the third problem that nobody talks about. Comparison is addictive. Each comparison triggers a dopamine response, whether you're comparing up, I want what they have, or comparing down, I'm better than them. Your brain rewards you for comparing, so you do it more and more, and each comparison plants another seed of future spending. You're literally training yourself to want more things by exposing yourself to thousands of comparisons per day. Let me tell you about a woman named Jessica, age 28 in 2019, marketing manager at a mid-sized tech company in Los Angeles, making $75,000 per year. That's a good salary for her age, for her experience level, for most places in America. Not rich, but solidly middle class with real potential to build wealth. Jessica was extremely active on Instagram, not just scrolling. She was posting regularly 3 to 4 times per week. She followed 400 plus people, influencers, lifestyle accounts, travel bloggers, fashion people, her friends, acquaintances from college. Her feed was a constant stream of beautiful lives. Vacations in Europe, Paris, Rome, Santorini, designer handbags, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, perfect apartments with plants and aesthetic furniture and natural light, brunches at expensive restaurants with photogenic food, gym selfies, beach bodies, success. At first, it was just entertainment. She enjoyed seeing what people were up to. She liked getting inspiration for her own life. But something shifted. She started comparing. Why don't I have those things? I make decent money. I went to a good school. I work hard. I should be living better than this. Her thought process was, I make $75,000. That's above average. If people making similar money can afford these things, I should be able to too. I'm not asking for a mansion. I just want a nice apartment and some nice things and to travel. Occasionally. That's reasonable. So she upgraded her life to match what she saw on Instagram. Methodically, deliberately. She moved from a $1,400 per month apartment in a less trendy neighborhood to a $2,200 per month apartment in Silver Lake because it had better lighting for photos and she could tell people she lived in Silver Lake. That's $800 more per month, $9,600 per year. She started buying designer bags. Not just one. If you're on Instagram posting regularly, you can't wear the same bag in every photo. People notice. So she bought multiple bags at $1,500 to $2,500 each. 3 bags per year. That's $5,000 per year minimum. She started taking expensive vacations, 2 international trips per year at $5,000 each, because you only live once, and experiences over things, and travel is the only thing you buy that makes you richer, and all the other justifications people use, that's $10,000 per year. She started eating out more, not fast food, trendy restaurants with good lighting, and aesthetic plating, so she could photograph her food 3 times per week at $40 per meal. That's $6,000 per year. She upgraded her car. Her 2012 Honda Civic was embarrassing when everyone on Instagram was driving Audis and BMWs. She leased a new car for $450 per month. That's $5,400 per year. Let me add this up for you. $9,600 plus $5,000 plus $10,000 plus $6,000 plus $5,400 equals $36,000 per year in Instagram influence spending increases. On a $75,000 salary, she posted everything, got likes, got comments. Your apartment is so cute. OMG, where is that? Love your bag. Got validation, felt successful, felt like she was living her best life, felt like she was keeping up. Here's the arithmetic of her decisions. Before Instagram influence, earning $75,000, taking home roughly $54,000 after taxes, spending $27,000 per year on normal middle-class life, saving $27,000 annually. That's a 50% savings rate. Exceptional. After Instagram influence, earning $75,000, taking home roughly $54,000. After taxes, spending $63,000 per year. Yes, more than she was taking home. Accumulating $9,000 per year in credit card debt, saving $0. Actually, saving negative $9,000 per year. She cut her savings rate from 50% to negative, trying to keep up with people online. Over 5 years, 2019 to 2024, that decision cost her everything. Original path. Save $27,000 times 5 years equals $135,000. Saved Instagram path. Save $0 times 5 years equals $0 saved. Plus, accumulate $45,000 in credit card debt. Net difference, $180,000. But it's worse because that $135,000 would have been invested and compounding. At 8% annual returns, that $135,000 becomes $162,000 by 2024. Plus, she wouldn't have $45,000 in debt. So the real difference is $207,000. By 2024, age 33, Jessica has $73,000 saved after eventually paying off some debt. If she'd maintained her original spending, she'd have $162,000 saved. The Instagram comparison cost her $89,000 in just 5 years. Over a decade, it will cost her over $300,000. Over a lifetime, it will cost her millions. Her co-worker, Sarah, made the exact same $75,000 salary. Same age, same company, same role. Sarah deleted Instagram in 2019 after reading an article about social media and mental health. She never saw the comparison, never saw the aspirational content, Never felt inadequate. Never felt like she needed to upgrade anything. Kept living in her $1,400 apartment that was perfectly fine. Kept shopping at Target and H&M instead of Nordstrom and designer stores. Kept her old car that worked fine. Kept cooking at home most nights. Kept saving $27,000 per year. By 2024, Sarah has $162,000 saved plus compound growth. No debt. She's on track to have $500,000 by age 40. She'll be able to retire by 50 if she wants to because her money is compounding while she sleeps. Jessica will work until 65, minimum, because she spent 5 years trying to look rich to strangers on the internet who don't care about her and will forget her posts in 30 seconds. Sarah will retire at 50 because she stopped comparing herself to strangers and focused on building wealth instead of displaying consumption. Same salary, same age, same starting point. Different relationship with social media. One will be financially free at 50. One will be working at 65, wondering where all the money went. Let me show you the math on comparison spending, because the numbers are worse than people realize. Person A, on social media, comparing constantly. Salary, $75,000 gross, $54,000 after taxes. Sees aspirational content daily, 500 plus posts per day. Upgrades apartment to match Instagram aesthetic, plus $9,600 per year. Buys designer items to keep up, plus $5,000 per year. Takes expensive vacations to match travel influencers, plus $10,000 per year. Eats at trendy restaurants for photos, plus $6,000 per year. Upgrades car to match peers' posts, plus $5,400 per year. Total comparison spending, $36,000 per year added. Original spending, $27,000 per year. New total spending, $63,000 per year. Income after tax, $54,000 per year. Annual deficit, minus $9,000 per year on credit cards. Savings, minus $9,000 per year going into debt. Person B, not on social media. Salary, $75,000 gross, $54,000 after taxes. Doesn't see aspirational content, lives modestly in basic apartment. Total spending, $27,000 per year. Savings, $27,000 per year, 50% savings rate. Over 20 years. Person A eventually pays off debt and saves $6,000 per year. Years 1 to 5. Accumulate $45,000 debt. Years 6 to 10, pay off debt. Years 11 to 20, save $6,000 per year equals $60,000. Total at age 48, $120,000. Person B saves consistently. Save $27,000 per year for 20 years equals $540,000 contributed at 8% compound returns. Total at age 48, $1,233,000. The comparison cost person A $1,113,000 over 20 years. Over $1 million spent trying to impress strangers. Warren and I never compared ourselves to anyone, ever. We didn't care what other people had. In the 1960s and 70s, our peers were buying bigger houses, nicer cars, taking expensive vacations, joining country clubs. They looked successful. Everyone thought they were successful. We looked cheap. We drove old cars. We lived modestly. We invested every dollar we didn't absolutely need. They thought we were missing out on life. They pitied us. By the 1980s, our peers were still working, still needing their paychecks. We were financially independent. We were free. They were trapped. That's what happens when you stop comparing. You stop spending money on things that don't matter. You stop trying to impress people who don't care. And that money, all that money you didn't spend on looking successful, compounds into actual wealth, actual security, actual freedom. Every comparison is a purchase decision waiting to happen. Social media shows you thousands of comparisons per day. That's thousands of seeds, thousands of future expenses being programmed into your psychology. Delete social media. Stop comparing, save your money, invest it. That's rule number 1. But deleting social media isn't enough. You also need rule number 2. Rule number 2, time is your only non-renewable resource. The second rule, treat your time like you treat your money. Actually, treat it even more carefully, because time is more valuable than money. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. You get 24 hours per day. That's it. When it's gone forever. The average person spends 2.5 hours per day on social media. That's 912 hours per year. That's 36,480 hours over 40 working years. Let me translate that. 36,480 hours is 1,520 full 24-hour days. That's 4.2 years of your life, every waking moment of more than 4 years spent scrolling through content you'll forget in 30 seconds. What else could you do with 36,480 hours? You could become world-class at investing. 10,000 hours is expert level, so you'd have 26,000 hours left over. You could build multiple successful businesses. You could read 10,000 plus books. You could learn 5 languages fluently. You could master 3 instruments. You could develop every skill needed to create generational wealth. Or you could scroll. Your choice. The problem with time on social media is it feels free. You're not paying money per scroll. There's no bill at the end of the month. So it feels costless. But time is the most expensive thing you have. And social media is specifically engineered to extract maximum time from you. Every hour on social media is an hour you're not learning something valuable, not reading books that could change how you think, not analyzing investments that could compound for decades, not building skills that could increase your income. You're consuming content designed to keep you consuming more content. Here's the second problem. Social media time is compounding lost opportunity. 1 hour lost isn't just 1 hour. It's 1 hour that could have generated knowledge that compounds over decades. If you spend 1 hour learning about investing, that knowledge helps you for 40 plus years. Every investment decision you make is slightly better. That 1 hour compounds 1 hour scrolling? You forget 99.9% within a week. It generates zero knowledge that helps you in the future. Let me tell you about 2 brothers. Both started at age 25 in 2010, making $60,000 per year. Both saved $15,000 annually. The only difference? How they spent free time. Brother A, Michael, spent 3 hours per day on social media minimum. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, YouTube. He'd check his phone before getting out of bed. He'd scroll during breakfast, browse during work breaks, Reddit for an hour after work, YouTube before bed. He felt informed, felt connected. Brother B, David, spent 30 minutes per day on social media maximum. just checking messages. That's it. The other 2.5 hours that Michael spent on social media, David spent reading books about investing, analyzing businesses, learning financial statements, studying market history, practicing valuation. Both invested $15,000 per year into index funds. Same savings rate. Michael never learned anything deeper, just bought VTI every year. Got 10% annual returns, standard market return. David's 2.5 hours per day learning compounded dramatically. By year 3, he understood financial statements fluently. By year 5, he could identify undervalued businesses. By year 10, he had sophisticated mental models. His average return, 14% annually. After 15 years, 2010 to 2025. Michael, $225,000 contributed, $431,000 total at 10%. David, $225,000 contributed, $620,000 total at 14%. David has $189,000 more wealth from the same contributions. The only difference? David invested 2.5 hours per day in learning. Michael invested 2.5 hours per day in scrolling, but it compounds further. By retirement at 65, Michael, 10% returns. $2,842,000 David, 14% returns. $6,148,000. David has $3,306,000 more wealth. Michael spent 32,850 hours on social media. David spent 3,650 hours. Those 29,200 extra hours cost Michael $113 per hour. At 65, David can withdraw $245,000 per year. Michael can withdraw $113,000 per year. That's $132,000 per year difference in retirement income forever, because Michael scrolled instead of learned. From age 20 to 30, I spent almost every waking hour reading and learning about businesses, reading annual reports cover to cover, analyzing financial statements, thinking deeply about value. Some people thought I was wasting my youth. Those 10 years of focused learning, roughly 20,000 hours, created 70 years of compounding returns that are still paying me at age 99. If I'd spent those 10 years consuming popular culture and staying informed about celebrity gossip, I'd be nobody. I'd have nothing. Stop trading your time for dopamine hits. Invest it in learning that compounds. But there's a third problem, even more dangerous. Rule number 3, social media destroys delayed gratification. The third rule, social media trains you for instant gratification. And instant gratification is completely, utterly, fundamentally incompatible. With wealth building, you can have one or the other. You cannot have both. Wealth building requires delayed gratification. You don't spend today so you can have exponentially more tomorrow. You wait years for investments to compound. You live below your means for 20 years so you can be rich for 50 years. You plant trees whose shade you'll enjoy in 20 years. Social media teaches the exact opposite. Post now. Get validation now. Buy now. Why wait? YOLO. You only live once. Treat yourself. Every message on social media pushes you toward immediate gratification. That mindset is poison to wealth. Because wealth building is all about waiting. Waiting for investments to compound at 8 to 10% per year. Waiting for businesses to grow. Waiting for skills to develop. The waiting is the strategy. If you can't delay gratification, you can't build wealth. And social media systematically destroys your ability to delay gratification. That's not an accident. That's the design. Social media is designed for instant feedback loops. You post something. You get likes within seconds. You get validation within minutes. Your brain gets dopamine right now, not tomorrow, now. Do that thousands of times, and your brain gets rewired. Literal neurological rewiring. Your brain physically changes to expect instant gratification. The neural pathways for patience atrophy, while the pathways for immediate reward strengthen. Then you try to build wealth. Investing requires waiting. You invest money and nothing happens for months. Nothing happens for years. You save consistently and your net worth grows slowly. Every single thing about wealth building is delayed, but you can't wait anymore because your brain has been retrained to expect immediate results. Investing feels boring because nothing happens immediately. Saving feels pointless because you can't see the impact today. Here's the second problem. Social media constantly shows you people experiencing instant success. Made $10,000 in 1 week. Became a millionaire before 30. Retired by 35. All the patience-requiring parts are edited out. All the years of work are invisible. You only see the instant gratification parts. So, you develop a distorted view of how wealth is built. You think wealth should come quickly. When it doesn't, you give up, or you gamble, trying to speed it up. Let me tell you about Alex, software engineer, age 26 in 2018. Made $110,000 per year. Should have been on a clear path to wealth. Alex was addicted to Instagram and Twitter, spent 4 to 5 hours per day, followed crypto influencers, trading accounts, success accounts. His feed was people making life-changing money overnight. Someone who turned $5,000 into $500,000 in 6 months with Bitcoin. Someone who became a millionaire from Dogecoin. Every day, new examples of instant wealth. Meanwhile, Alex had been doing the boring thing, saving and investing in index funds since age 23. By age 26, he had $60,000 saved, boring 10% returns. Slow progress, nothing exciting. He felt like a sucker. Why am I waiting decades when people are getting rich right now? In 2021, during the crypto boom, Alex took his $60,000 and put it all into cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, several altcoins. He watched constantly, checked every hour. His $60,000 became $140,000 in 4 months. He felt like a genius. He quit his $110,000 job. He was a trader now. Then crypto crashed in May 2021. $140,000 became $90,000 in 2 weeks. He panicked. Buy the dip. Went down to $70,000, panicked more, sold some at a loss. The ones he sold went up. The ones he held went down. $90,000 became $50,000, then $30,000, then $15,000. By December 2023, Alex had $15,000 left from his original $60,000. He lost $45,000, 75% of his wealth, in 2 years. Plus, he'd lost 2 years of salary by quitting, another $220,000 in lost income, plus 2 years of retirement savings, another $36,000. Total damage. $301,000 in wealth destroyed. He's now 31, back at a job making $120,000, has $15,000 saved, should have had $150,000 plus by now, should have had $410,000 in total wealth, has $15,000. The instant gratification mindset cost him $395,000 by age 31. Over his lifetime, it will cost him $2,900,000 because he couldn't wait. His roommate James wasn't on social media much, checked once a week, didn't see the crypto hype, didn't see overnight success stories, just kept investing $18,000 per year into index funds from age 23 to 65. Did nothing exciting, just waited. By age 31, James has $185,000 invested, on track to have $2 million by age 50 and retire, on track to have $8,200,000 by age 65. Alex has $15,000 and will work until 65. The instant gratification mindset cost him his entire future. I've waited my entire life. I bought stocks and held them for decades. I bought Coca-Cola in 1988. That's 37 years ago. American Express in 1964. That's 61 years ago. I bought and waited. The waiting made us rich, not the buying. The waiting. Social media makes waiting exponentially harder. It shows you instant success constantly. Your brain is bombarded with examples of people getting rich quickly. It breaks your ability to wait. Delete social media. Relearn patience. Rebuild your ability to wait years or decades for results. I built my entire fortune without social media. Never needed it. Never missed it. Every wealthy person from my generation did the same because social media didn't exist when we were building wealth. But here's what's revealing. Wealthy people from younger generations either don't use social media at all or use it very differently than average people. They don't scroll mindlessly. They don't compare. They don't consume aspirational content. Warren Buffett doesn't have Instagram, doesn't have Twitter, worth $150 billion. Built without social media, just quietly compounds wealth while everyone else loudly displays consumption. The pattern is crystal clear. Social media and wealth are negatively correlated. The more time you spend on social media, the less wealth you build. Not because it directly takes your money, because it destroys the three psychological foundations you need. 1. Protection from comparison spending. 2. Time to learn valuable skills. 3. Ability to delay gratification. Remove anyone and wealth building becomes difficult. Remove all three and it becomes impossible. Social media removes all three simultaneously. But let me show you something even more disturbing. The real cost of social media isn't just what you spend or what you don't learn. It's the compound effect of all three working together to destroy wealth exponentially over decades. Here's what nobody tells you. These three problems don't just add together. They multiply. It's not 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. It's 1 times 10 equals 100. The destruction is exponential. Let me show you two people over 40 years. Person A, Amanda, is active on social media, spends 2.5 hours daily, makes $70,000 per year starting at age 25. From age 25 to 45, Amanda sees friends traveling, buying designer items, living in nice apartments on Instagram. She feels behind. She upgrades her lifestyle to keep up. Instead of saving 40%, $28,000 per year. She saves only 5%, $1,400 per year. The other, $26,600, goes to looking successful online. She spends her free time scrolling instead of learning. She doesn't develop valuable skills. She doesn't learn about investing. She makes emotional decisions, buys crypto at the top, sells stocks at the bottom. Her savings earn only 3% annually due to terrible timing. By age 45, Amanda has saved only $88,000. She's making $130,000 now, but still spending almost everything maintaining her image. From age 45 to 65, reality hits. She panics, tries to catch up by taking risks, loses money, finally increases savings to 15%, but it's too late. Decades of lost compound growth can't be recovered. By age 65, Amanda has $896,000 saved. She cannot retire. She'll work until 70. Minimum, probably 75. Person B, Brandon. Same starting salary, same raises. Only difference, he's never on social media. Brandon doesn't see aspirational content, doesn't compare, lives modestly, saves 40% of income from day one, $28,000 per year, spends 2.5 hours daily learning instead of scrolling, becomes an expert investor, returns average 12% due to skill. He never inflates his lifestyle with raises. At $95,000 salary, he still lives modestly, saves 45%. At $130,000, saves 65%. At $160,000, saves even more. By age 52, Brandon has $4,200,000. He retires, never needs to work again. By age 65, his portfolio has grown to $9,800,000, even with no additional contributions. He's been retired for 13 years. Same starting point. Same 40 years. Amanda, $896,000 at 65. Still working. Brandon, $9,800,000 at 65. Retired for 13 years. The difference, $8,904,000 in wealth and 13 years of freedom. That's the compound destruction of social media. All three problems multiplying together to destroy nearly $9 million in wealth and more than a decade of freedom. Let me break down the multiplication effect. Rule 1 violation. Comparison spending costs Amanda $30,000 per year over 40 years. That's $1.2 million direct spending. Invested at 10%, that becomes $13,278,000. Opportunity cost, $12 million. Rule 2 violation, wasted time, prevents Amanda from learning to invest properly. Returns drop from 13% to 3%. On $896,000, that 10% difference costs $90,000 per year in retirement income. Over 25 years, $2.25 million lost. Rule 3, violation, instant gratification, causes terrible decisions. Crypto at the top. Stocks sold at the bottom. Performance chasing. These emotional mistakes cost $400,000 in direct losses. Total cost? $15,850,000. Social media cost Amanda nearly $16 million over her lifetime. But Amanda doesn't even realize social media caused this. She'd blame her salary, the economy, bad luck. She'd never connect it to social media because the destruction happened slowly, invisibly, over decades. Here's another pattern. People who quit social media halfway through their career, Richard was like Amanda for 20 years, active on social media, comparing, spending, scrolling. At age 45, he had $95,000 saved on a $140,000 salary. Then his father died suddenly at 67, never got to retire. Richard deleted all social media that week. For the next 20 years, Richard lived differently, stopped comparing, stopped caring what people thought. Spending dropped from $130,000 per year to $60,000 per year. Started saving $70,000 per year. He invested 2.5 hours daily into learning, read 1,000 plus books over 20 years, became an expert investor. Returns went from 4% to 12%. Result, at 65, Richard had $3,400,000. He could retire. Not as well as Brandon. He'd lost 20 years of compound growth. But he could retire. If he'd stayed on social media, he'd have had $850,000. By quitting at 45, he saved an extra $2,550,000. That's how powerful these rules are. Even implementing them late saves millions. But implementing them early, from age 25 instead of 45, that's the difference between $3.4 million and $9.8 million. Between retiring at 65 and retiring at 52. The math doesn't lie. Social media is making you poor. Every scroll costs you money. Every comparison plants future spending. Every minute is time you'll never get back. The cost compounds. Gets worse every year. The longer you wait to quit, the more damage accumulates. Amanda at 65 with $896,000 cannot recover. She'll work until she physically can't. Richard at 65 with $3,400,000 barely recovered by quitting at 45. Brandon at 65 with $9,800,000 who never used social media, he won. He retired at 52. Same starting point. Different relationship with social media, different life outcome. Let me make this simple. Here are the 3 rules. Rule number 1, stop comparing. Every comparison costs you money. Social media shows you thousands of comparisons per day. Each plants a seed of future spending. Delete social media. Stop trying to keep up. Save that money. Invest it. Rule number 2, time is non-renewable. 2.5 hours daily equals 4+ years over 40 years. Trade scrolling for learning. Your future wealth depends on it. Rule number 3, rebuild delayed gratification. Wealth requires waiting decades. Social media trains instant gratification. You cannot build wealth if you can't wait. Delete social media. Relearn patience. These rules are simple. Almost nobody follows them because it means being different, not having Instagram, not being part of online conversations. That social pressure is intense. The people who follow these rules look weird. They're boring, they're behind, but they're building wealth while everyone else builds debt trying to look wealthy. Here's your challenge. Delete social media for 30 days. All of it. You'll be uncomfortable for 2 weeks. Your brain will crave dopamine like an addict. You'll reflexively reach for your phone dozens of times. You'll feel anxious, disconnected, left out. Then something will shift around week 2 or 3. You'll notice you have time. Hours every day you didn't realize you had. You'll start reading more. Real books with actual ideas. You'll start thinking more deeply. Your ability to focus will return. Your need for validation will fade. Your spending will decrease because you'll stop seeing things that make you want to spend. You'll feel calmer, less anxious, more grounded. After 30 days, calculate the impact. How much more did you learn? How much less did you spend? Then decide based on data. Is social media worth what it costs you? The comparison spending that costs $21,000 plus per year. The lost time that costs $113 per hour. The destroyed ability to delay gratification that costs millions over a lifetime. I'm 99 years old. I promise you, you don't need it. Everything social media claims to give you can be found elsewhere without the wealth-destroying side effects. Phone calls give better. Connection. Books give better information. Hobbies give better entertainment. But most people won't delete it. I know this. Most people won't delete it because they're addicted and don't want to admit they're addicted. They'll keep scrolling, keep comparing, keep wasting time, keep destroying their ability to build wealth. And in 30 years, when they're 60 or 65, they'll wonder why they're broke despite making decent money. They'll wonder why other people retired early. They'll wonder where the money went. And they'll never connect it to the 36,480 hours they spent on social media and the $1 million+ they spent trying to look rich online. Meanwhile, the weird people who weren't on social media will be retired and financially free, living off investment returns, not needing to work, not dependent on a paycheck, just quietly enjoying compound interest. The formula is simple. Delete social media, stop comparing, invest the time in learning, rebuild delayed gratification, save, and invest for decades. Let compound interest work. That's how you build wealth. Your choice is simple. Keep social media and stay poor, or delete social media and build wealth. You can't do both. The arithmetic doesn't work. The psychology doesn't work. The time doesn't work. The math is clear. I know what I'd choose. I know what I did choose. I know what every wealthy person I've ever known chose. Do you? Now, if you want more brutal honesty about building wealth, timeless principles that actually work instead of social media financial guru garbage, subscribe to this channel. We don't promise easy. We don't promise fast. We promise truth. And the truth is that social media is making you poor. Whether you delete it or not is your choice, but don't say you weren't warned.